KNES English Medium Junior College welcome its students for the online lecture of psychology for chapter 5 Emotion. For the topic Emotional Well-being, Emotional Abuse and Managing Emotions. Students, in today's lecture, we are going to study chapter 5, Emotion. In this, we are going to study about the following topics. 1. 5.4 Emotional Well-being. Second, 5.4.1 Techniques of Emotional Well-being and 5.4.2 Benefits of Emotional Well-being. Second, 5.5 Emotional Abuse. Third, 5.6 Managing Emotions. 5.6.1 Anger Management. So, in today's lecture, we are going to cover three topics: emotional well-being, emotional abuse, and managing emotions. Emotional well-being. Physical well-being can be observed by our common eyes. It is an observable behavior. Whereas coming to emotional well-being, it is innate and not easily observable. It can be measured on the basis of how a person rationally handles the situation in a calm and healthy manner. Emotional well-being is gaining importance in today's fast-paced life that we live. There are several external stressors such as peer pressure, exam pressure, family expectation, etc. that can have an impact on us. As humans, we always experience negative emotions while coping with such stress. We need to ensure that we can manage this negative emotion so that we can prevent us, so that they do not prevent us from leading a good life. Emotional well-being means managing our emotions, both positive and negative ones, so that we can lead a healthy and productive life. Thus, understanding and managing one's emotions, encouraging positive emotion, and not getting overwhelmed by the situation. Negative emotions is also an aspect of emotional well-being. So, emotional well-being is not an observable behavior. It is an innate one. It can be measured on how rationally a person handles both positive and negative emotions, that he/she can lead a productive and healthy life. Technique of emotional well-being. Emotional well-being means managing our emotions, both positive and negative ones, so that we can lead a healthy and productive life. But there is no one formula for emotional well-being. Instead, there are lots of techniques that have been found to be helpful in regulating our emotions. It is the absence of negative effects as well as general satisfaction with life. A person who experiences emotional well-being is positively engaged with the world. The aspects of emotional well-being or the technique are at three levels: physical level, emotional level, and social level. Physical level. In physical level, exercise and balanced diet are important. as exercise release a chemical called as endorphin that make us feel good and also act as an essential stress buster to negative thought cycle, accompanying negative emotions such as sad, guilt and anxiety. Whereas eating a balanced and healthy diet to provide adequate nutrition and avoid health issues. Coming to the second level, that is emotional level. Emotional level requires practice mindfulness, raising level of motivation and optimism. Managing stress by raising level of motivation, engaging in meaningful activities and hobbies and connecting with optimized people so that help you to develop positive emotions. Second, practicing mindfulness and staying connected with the present rather than wandering on the past that raise your emotional health. Coming to the third level, that is social level. Social level is concerned with engaging in pro-social behavior and meaningful relationships. Building meaningful relationship with others provides us with emotional support and booster our morale. Volunteering and engaging in pro-social acts provides our self-esteem. It develops self-esteem, confidence level, reduce depression and develop feeling of gravitation. 5.4.2 Benefits of Emotional Well-being. An individual who is high on emotional well-being will experience the following benefits. 1. Coping with stress. They are better able to deal with stress. They use healthy methods like talking to friends, exercise, etc. to cope with stress. Second, better self-regulation. They are able to deal with emotions such as anxiety, anger and fear without allowing the emotion to overpower them. They can label how they feel and accept these negative emotions as being a normal part of life. Third, increasing productivity. Feeling positive makes them feel energized, which helps in the performance of various tasks like studying, playing, etc. The ability to focus and think clearly is also enhanced in emotionally healthy people. Fourth, increasing creativity. They are open to new experience and curious in life. They can think of different strategies to solve a problem when one fails. Fifth, life satisfaction. They are able to build relationships and have deep personal connections. They perform activities like volunteering in social service or activity which helps to give purpose and meaning to their life. So, benefits of emotional well-being is emotional well-being means managing our emotions, both positive and negative ones, so that we can lead a healthy and productive life. Persons who are high in emotional well-being experience benefits such as to lead better able to deal with stress, better self-regulation, increase productivity in tasks undertaken, increase creativity and openness to new experience, life satisfaction due to meaningful activities and relationships. Emotional abuse. 5.5. Emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is the kind of abuse that is emotional rather than physical in nature. It occurs when a person subjects to expose another person to intentionally harmful behavior that may result in anxiety, depression, and psychological trauma to the victim. Students, we are well aware of physical abuse, which make use of aggressive techniques like hitting, kicking, pushing, or other physical form of harm to control the other person. The other form of passive abuse is emotional abuse. In emotional abuse, emotion is used as a weapon to choose to control other person. Emotional abuse is one of the hardest forms of abuse to recognize. It can be overt. In both ways, it hampers the self-esteem and confidence of the victim. It wounds emotionally. Emotional abuse is more harmful and damaging to the self-esteem and self-worth of a person. If you leave the person feeling depressed, anxious, and even suicidal. Emotional abuse of much severe and consuming and take more time to heal than physical abuse. Types of emotional abuse. There are two types of emotional abuse: verbal, violence, and non-verbal. Verbal abuse are such as blaming, insulting, labeling, threatening, swearing, etc. Verbal violence, yelling, insulting, and swearing. It will all include lecturing orders and unpredictable outbursts, labeling publicly, embarrassing, and blaming, causing fear, threatening. Coming to the non-verbal abuse, it includes such as ignoring, rejecting, bullying, spying, etc. Rejection, pretending not to be noticed and ignoring conversation, isolating, bullying, digital spying are all non-verbal types of emotional illness. To check whether you are prone to get emotionally abused, there are certain things that you should notice. You check yourself whether you prioritize other needs before you, whether you always try to please others, or are you sacrificing your own need for the others but they do not reciprocate, whether repressing your feelings because others should not feel bad, whether you feel guilt for standing up for yourself, or do you think that you deserve this treatment, or do you believe that nobody would want to be with you. When you start feeling all these things, it means you are prone to get emotionally abused. Techniques to deal with emotional abuse. important that when you are experiencing emotional abuse, you seek help. Besides, there are some simple steps which you can take to deal with emotional abuse. The most important point to deal with emotional abuse is breaking the silence and standing up for your own self. It can be done by following ways. 1. Accept that abuse is not your responsibility. Accept that the emotional abuse is not because of you. Do not justify the action of the observer. Second, respond assertively to the abuser but seek distance from him. Third, give yourself time to heal. Fourth, do not give immediate reaction to the abuser. Fifth, prioritize your self-care. Example, eating right, exercise, etc. Next, mobilize support from family and friends. If needed, seek professional help too. So these are the few techniques to deal with emotional abuse. Managing emotions. Managing of emotion is an important life skill. Managing emotion can be defined as the ability to be open to feelings and modulate them in oneself and in others so as to promote personal understanding and growth. Sometimes your emotional hijack your thinking, due to which we act impulsively. This is because the limbic system, emotional section, develops before the thinking part and is hence an extreme strong part of the brain. Emotional management is an art as it is a form of expression as well as a science, as it is a skill that needs to be learned and practiced. Anger management. Anger is a common emotion that everybody experiences in life from time to time. Anger is a normal response to some real or perceived threat. It is a protective emotion that helps us to defend ourselves against physical or psychological harm. However, anger may also be unwanted, irrational and destructive. Triggers of anger. Triggers of anger refer to any event that signals the brain to get activated the body anger system. The trigger of anger may be verbal. For example, being blamed, disrespected or abused. Or non-verbal. For example, being ignored, unappreciated or rejected. Third, physical, such as physical threat, sexual threat, physical assault, etc. There are three factors that are involved in experiencing of anger. Cause of anger, individual personality, particular interpretation of that situation. As we experience, anger is subjective. It cannot be controlled. If you understand the figure of anger, we can participate potential anger episodes and provide an intentional, acceptable response. Effective anger management. Being with controlling anger involves two perspectives. Managing your own anger, learning how to respond effectively to the anger of others. For that, take the responsibility of your feeling, make you the drive rather than a puppet of a string. And thus you start functioning from the internal locus of control. So you exercise the choice of freedom to control your life. You have opportunity to evaluate, regulate and control your emotions and use your innate ability to think rationally and to make correct decisions. There are certain different approaches to anger management. Let's see these approaches to anger management. Approaches to anger management. They are 3 R's: relax, reassess and respond. First one, relaxation and connection with the inner self. Direct, enhance, clear thinking, attention and concentration. When you are angry, you are in a vulnerable state. So you reach to conclusion and decide in a strong, engaging in power booster activity like meditation technique, listening to music, engaging in hobbies, social work, etc. But your body deliberately is a calm, stable state and give you recovery time to manage your anger. You can see things in a clear perspective. This stage prepares you to respond rather than react impulsively. Coming to the second one, reassess. Now that the mind is relaxed, you can revisit the situation objectively and figure out exactly what is happening. How is it affecting you? Whether an action needs to be taken and what action should be taken. It helps you to revisit the situation objectively. It involves taking complete responsibility of your emotion, developing empathy for the person you perceive has wronged you. Conduct a reality check. That is, if you are angry, justify given the fact of what happened. Coming to the third one, response. Use your anger as a motivation to change. Anger is telling you something. This is the time when you re-engage with other party or situation to resolve the conflict. To do this, you consulting a trustworthy person to get another perspective. Then you engage in talk with the other party in a calm manner. Then you do active listening and assertive speaking. After that, you cage your rage, that is, establish boundaries and moderate your anger. So this is the 3 R's